West Virginia University supports the West Virginia Statewide After-School Network, or WVSAN, as we call it for short, by being the fiscal agent for the network. And the network is actually a collaboration built around a grant funded by the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation. And the whole goal of the network, there are actually three main goals. The first one revolves around sustainability, or building the network. The second one works around the goal of quality. We want to ensure quality for West Virginia children and after school. And the third is about policy, the policies that we need to have around development of after school. The one thing that Extension can really provide to the network is we do a lot of quality professional development for after-school providers all across the state. We just finished doing training all across the state in a training called Tools of the Trade. And we talk about things that we have been using in 4-H for a lot of years, things like the essential elements of positive youth development. We did a program around the Tools of the Trade that included things like how to deal with behavior issues, or we may talk about things like how to work with parents, how to get increased parent involvement and volunteer management. And those are all things that 4-H are very familiar with and we've been working with for years. Now, this past 3 years, we really also had a focus on STEM, bringing STEM education into after school and providing some hands-on activities. During the after-school day, we don't want to do more of the same that we've been doing in school all day. We want kids to be more active and doing some real hands-on learning. So STEM, or STEAM, some people call it, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. We can bring that kind of learning into after school and make it exciting for kids and integrate it with their school day and really make a difference in kids. Now, we know that after school makes a huge difference in whether kids attain graduation. We just had a recent study come out that talks about the ABCs of learning. And this study showed that a kid that has excessive absenteeism, a behavior problem, course failure, if you have any two of those three things by the 6th grade, then there is a 70% chance that that child is not going to graduate from high school. We know that after school can affect all of that. If a child likes to come to after school and is doing exciting things in after school, they're not going to be absent during the school day because they want to make it to after school. We know that behavior can also be affected by having good relationships. We get to work on skills in after school, like personal relationships and social time in after school that will reflect into the good behavior in the after school day. And then of course, course failure, we can help kids with homework help and needed remediation of other skills during the after school hours. So of course, with those ABCs, we know that after school makes a difference in a child's life. And of course, WVU Extension, being the fiscal agent for our WVSAN in West Virginia, along with having an agent in all 55 counties of West Virginia that can help with that professional training, the professional development, getting STEM activity and curriculum into after-school providers' hands, as well as materials frequently. We are a strong partner in after school. And a lot of people talk about after school and out of school, or OST, as the same kind of thing. And if you want to go into that, you know, we are the premier camping organization in West Virginia, where we have quality programs such as Wired and Wonderful Camp, where again we get that STEM focus and we get kids out there, and it's all about learning outside the school day. 21st century learning centers are a huge issue. That's federal funds that comes to the states that is used primarily for after school time. And one of the big pushes for the 21st century grants is to improve parent involvement. A lot of times, if you have children that are attaining minimally in school, the only times that parents are really called to school is when their child has a problem or is in trouble, or maybe that parent even had a lot of negative ideas around coming to school whenever they were a child. So what happens is that parent is very reluctant to come into the child's school day or to get involved. Frequently, parents also feel like that they don't understand the homework and they struggle along trying to help kids with today's math or whatever parents may be find imposing. So what we like to do is try to have non-threatening parent involvement and engagement. Some ways we do that is through an activity we called Family Night Out. Family Night Out is a great way to get parents to come in and come to the child's after school site. Usually they're there to see a performance, or they might be there to be engaged in some type of learning. Now, it's an issue because kids are in after school because parents are working. So we really have to work with families and engage them when we can. Sometimes it's on a Saturday, sometimes it's later in the evening, and it usually does have to involve food because they're coming home late and they're racing around trying to get home, and they have to come in and have their dinner time. So if we can engage them around food, that frequently works well. And of course, nutrition in West Virginia is also a huge issue. Our next cycle of grant, we are looking at healthy lifestyles. And of course, West Virginia has a huge obesity problem. So we are very engaged in working with families around nutrition outreach and trying to help them understand what is healthy food and a healthy lifestyle. Well, one of the things that Extension is very involved in, of course, is we want to bring 4-H into after school. And 4-H works so well with after school because we have this whole nationally juried project curriculum that can be used very well in after school. We also have a lot of the skill-a-thons that can be used for like a one-time or episodic time. We have also a 4-H club. Kids, after they get about 9 years old, that is a natural need for them to join and be a part of something bigger away from the family. So we certainly want to give them the opportunity for 4-H club work. But beyond that, most schools, most after schools are set up that kids are going to come in. They're going to have a snack, or a lot of after school sites are going to the after school suppers. This is a federal push that they have extended the school feeding program, and especially in the needy communities for the after school suppers. And so kids get supper, and then there's usually almost always homework help in after school. And this is a real important thing too, because more often than not, parents are very upset if they come to after school and pick up their kids and the homework's not done. We have to think about where families are and what's going on when mom gets home, sometimes as late as 5:30, 6 o'clock, and she's got to go by after school and pick up the child, and then you have to go home and you have to fix dinner, and then there's homework, and then there's baths, and then there's bed, and it's a very busy evening. And frequently there's sports and other extracurricular activities added in there as well. So after school, real niche is to try to help, especially children that are having problems in school, to help them with the homework help. Now, a quality after school site has a connection with that child's school day teachers so that they can know exactly where that child is and exactly where they need help. The other thing that we have beyond that is we want kids to be getting physical activity, and that is something that we're really working on. What is the standard? How much physical activity does a child need each day? Have they been getting physical activity during the school day? Do we want them to come in and be sedentary and just lay and watch movies during after school, or should they be getting outdoor play and free play that's not structured, where they can just go outside and form their own groups to play games as kids used to?
When I get home from school, I come over here and help the little kids with their homework and help them read what they don't know and help with their multiplication and division.
They go pick them up after school, and then they come back, do their homework, play games, go outside.
And we live in a different world now. We live in a world where usually both parents work, and frequently there is no one for the child to go home to. We know that a child is more likely to be a victim or a perpetrator of a crime between the hours of 3 and 6. So clearly there is a need for quality after school, not only in West Virginia, but all across the United States. We are a young network. We have just been growing for about, I think we're coming up around 6 years now. And just in the time that I've been involved with it, it's growing very rapidly. But when you look at our map and where our after-school sites are, Of course, it follows our population density areas, which are close to our interstates, but it also tells me that we do have broad gaps. West Virginia is a very geographically diverse and rural state, but we need more support. We need more support for our programs, and I think that we have to go to our state legislatures, and we also need to keep 21st Century funded because it is the leader in after school.
Take me home to the place